Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts as the markets bleed. And so, I have to stress this, especially for this stream, any videos this week. I'm just a guy on the internet having fun looking at charts, so I have no idea how low the stocks are going to go. I have no idea if there will be a bounce. I suspect there will be at some point, but I feel like it'll probably be towards the end of the day, Monday, or between then and Wednesday. But I have no idea. I mean, stuff could just fall off a cliff for more days. So good to be careful about that. And I do have some tickers up here that I kind of requested, I guess. I've put four of these on a poll that I do have on X right now. Which stock should I go over during Monday morning? So tomorrow morning's pre-market prep stream. And I've got Robinhood, SoFi, Palantir, and NVIDIA there. Looks like it's gotten 32 votes. This is more votes than I usually get. SoFi is currently in the lead. So if you would like me to go over one of those tomorrow during pre-market prep, and then I will release it as a clip, you should definitely vote in that poll there. And yeah, hey Saul, how's it going? Circuit breakers are breaking, yeah, for sure. I have to say, I'm really excited about Bitcoin dropping and Ethereum dropping. This is one that I cover in pre-market prep every day, and I've definitely talked about this confluence of levels here. We got a low, it looks like 77,000. I do have alerts here at 75 and 72, corresponding with some, I think, $10 dip buys. And yeah, but I think I kind of realized that I'm going to start going a little bit heavier with my daily DCAs on Bitcoin and Ethereum, which may end up being a huge mistake. But rather than aggressively buying the dips right now, I'm just going to, increase my daily DCA. So I'm excited about it. And then otherwise, regarding stocks, I'm kind of just chilling. I'm excited that, well, I mean, I wish I would have been more patient. I had one share at an average price of whatever was, let's see, where was the dip? I guess, I don't think 135. I think over here, yeah, 185. This was August 5th. So I dip bought that, was very proud of it. But then with everything going on with Tesla over like the past month, it's like, man, I want to have more shares, or I want to have more than one share. And so I kind of got my average up, and my average is now 230, and overnight trading is like 217.50. I'm probably just gonna wait for like 213.64. Let's see, what's this alert at? 217.02. We're already there basically. So yeah, I mean, I've no idea what's gonna happen. Kind of exciting. Okay, so QBTS and APLD, I'll add them up here, and I actually had them up here from last week, but I cleared off the request list. But yeah, QBTS, APLD, and also I have to say, not specifically to these stocks, just generally, I think it's a really good time to not get distracted by the noise, or any stocks where it's like, maybe I'll buy that one to take advantage of the dip. I feel like it's good to really just focus on a few specific things, and maybe some of this stuff will never recover. So very good to be cautious of that. And Saul's saying, be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. I agree, but one thing, actually, maybe I could pull up the VIX on, actually, I'll do UVIX, because that's what I usually cover in pre-market prep. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of anticipating this not be such a big top. What we saw back over here with the UVIX, so I like this more than the VIX. But, this is just like a blow-off top signal. I mean, and really, we're still seeing a big green candle going up. So, I mean, maybe we top tomorrow is what I'm thinking in the VIX. So if I just pull up the volatility index, because, yeah, I mean, dang, man. I feel a little bit stupid because I was like prematurely expecting like the top to be in around here. And so I actually started shorting the VIX. Not a lot of money, but it was just kind of like, I mean, I'm probably going to be right about, basically Tuesday would be the top for this. And yeah, I mean, the high on Friday was 76.09. And now it's in the overnight trading, it's 90 basically. So that's insane. Um, yeah, and the VIX, I don't see the pre-market data up here because it's options, but maybe I can look it up in TradingView. I'm not really used to looking at it over here, but if I just type in VIX, um, let's see. Is this? Yeah, so I think I'd have to look at the VIX futures or something. VIX futures. Well, so I was looking at the UVIX, so yeah, and I got some SVIX. Let's look at SVIX. This is just kind of funny because I was just like, no, I'm gonna do this, and yeah, thank goodness it's only 1x short VIX. But yeah, so I have, let's see, how many shares of this do I have? I went in heavier than I normally do with stuff, just having some conviction. I have 18 shares at 1571. And, I was kind of thinking that this might be bouncing. And, then like 16 going back to the 382. But if you look back at this, it like never really returned to the highs or the lows even. So yeah, I might have to accept a loss on this at some point. But I could still get my average down. I am just gonna wait. I'm gonna chill. I think I had an alert actually at 12 for shorting the VIX. But it's below 12 during the overnight trading. No limit buy orders. But anyways, I don't think you guys are too interested in that stuff. And if you are, I can always pull it back up. But yeah, I'll just pull up QBTS. I'll go over that next. I'm just going to cheers. Usually I have an old fashioned, but I opened up a bottle last night, so I got some grape juice. This is, Wall Street blood from all of the sheep being slaughtered right now. Yeah. Cheers to you guys. Cheers to the weekend. Cheers to the exciting week ahead. No idea what's going to happen, but I think these days will be remembered. We'll look back on the charts and be like, I remember that day. So cheers to being a part of history. And cheers to you guys. Hopefully your portfolios and you guys are managing this stuff well, because it could get pretty rough over the next week. All right. And John, what's up? I see you there in the chat. How is Bitcoin looking? I'll definitely go over it pretty in depth, or maybe, I guess kind of casually during pre-market prep. But it has not come down to 75K, which I would like. And it has found support, it looks like, for the time being, around this confluence of levels here, around 78, 79,000. Around current price, hit a low of around 77,000. And something that I did less than an hour before the stream started is because the close on Friday, the CME gap was created around 84,000. I bought $50 worth so I can add more very casually tomorrow if needed. But kind of expecting the CME gap to be filled, and that's like a 7% move. So put $50 down, might get 53 back. If it goes lower, that's fine. And if need be, I'll just go into long-term storage. So I'm just chilling. I'm excited that Bitcoin has pulled back. I still think that 4-year cycle, and that we will be seeing at least a retest of these highs later this year. I think it'll be in the 6 digits later this year. So I think this is a nice dip buying opportunity, but I could, of course, be wrong. So yeah, I'll pull up Qubits and looking. So how's BTC looking for a breakdown of bear flag on the weekly? Maybe consolidate in the 70K area, which forms huge inverted head and shoulders. Currently own a lot of SBIT. Is SBIT short? I've been looking at. Sorry, Saul. I'll come back to your stuff in a second. Qubit and Applied Digital. But I just want SBIT. ProShares ultra short. Wow. Very cool. I was previously just looking at iBit. So, or Biddy. Biddy. This is SBIT. Both of them are ProShares. So that's cool. And I would only look to trade that probably, SBIT, based on, let's see, if there's a CME gap to the downside. And right now the CME gap is to the upside. And so I am looking forward to just a swing up to that level. But yeah, maybe it gets filled by Wednesday. Maybe it doesn't. But yeah, short. Wait, so not short the VIX. Oops, yeah, sorry. SBIT. This is what I want. So yeah, and then Bitcoin. Sorry, I'm all over the place. But Bitcoin, yeah, I mean, I think that it could be getting back into this shaded box. And I would welcome dips to 75, 72, or 69, 420. All of those, I think, would be exciting dip buy levels. Not to be too aggressive until 69, 420, I would say, or at least 72 goes off. But I've increased my daily Bitcoin, or starting tomorrow, I guess. So I technically haven't yet for today, but for Ethereum, I did increase. I just bought, more than I normally do, and I'm going to be doing it. It's a set amount every day. I'll be doing the same amount for Ethereum and Bitcoin for the foreseeable future. But yeah, I'm just going to pull up the ticker request live and I'll start getting into qubits. Sorry about that, Saul. Nameless, I'm going to get into what's up, how's it going? And Bruce as well. Do you look at stocks too or just crypto? I look at stocks and crypto, but mainly stocks. I feel like crypto, I don't know. I always get like a bunch of spam in the comments. But Bruce and Nameless, I will get to your requests. I guess I'll first cheers, but then I'm going to get into qubits because I'm taking my time with it. There's some bubbles on the side I was looking at. But yeah, cheers to you guys. Cheers to the weekend, the chaos that we're walking into. It's going to be an exciting historical week in the markets, I'm sure. And this is the blood of sheep being slaughtered right now. All right, qubits. D-Wave Quantum. Let's see. I got these doodles. It seems like this is trading in the overnight at 560. And so 560 is going to be below the 786 here from this orange retracement. So I'm just going to move the, let's see, the 618 from that. So a little bit less clutter. And we did fill this gap, so I'm just going to delete that. And let's see, what's this yellow line? 560. 560 in the overnight. That's pretty remarkable. So, yeah, I don't know if it's going lower than 560 in the overnight or what it's going to be doing in the pre-market or during trading tomorrow. But, yeah, I mean, most of my doodles are either too impatient or too patient. They're not timed very well. This seems like it's timed pretty well. And I don't know, what kind of pattern was I thinking with that? Yeah, I don't know. I would think that at this point, coming down to right around where the cursor is, that's like sub $5. That could still, be finding some support around this uptrend. So I feel like this could be heading to $5, maybe lower. The intersection of that yellow, just like straight down from here. I'll just put a line right there so we can see. That's around 482. So maybe it could be coming down to 5 tomorrow. So that's what I would think. And then, look for wick down, close above. And then that would kind of give you, V shape. Want to see that it's being bought up as it dips. So yeah, I'd keep an eye out for 5. I'm not going to put an alert there because I'm going to be getting too many alerts. But if I was like actively engaged with this one, depending on how much cash I had on the side or, what my plan was, I'd either have an alert at $5 a share or I'd have a limit buy order at $5 a share. Personally, if I was trading it, I think that $5 will probably get hit. But it may go well past that. It may, go past the lows over here, which is like 445. Who knows? All of my analysis today is going to include who knows. I have no idea. But I think dip around 5 seems like a good level. Overnight now, 556. So a little bit below this yellow line. So it's, doing exactly what I have doodled out here. So that's pretty cool. Applied Digital. I feel like this one's probably just going to be breaking down because there was this like inverse head and shoulders pattern that totally got rejected. Wick up, wick back, to come back down, closing down here. And then it's just, sold off. So the saying is there's nothing more bullish than a failed bearish move. And there's nothing more bearish than a failed bullish move. Or pattern, I should say. And so this is a bullish pattern that failed, and now we're seeing this pull back. And so with Applied Digital, do have this Fibonacci extension that would suggest the level to the downside, which is around 156. No idea if that's going to happen. Currently trading in the overnight at $4.25, which is going to be, It's going to be above this yellow line here, the horizontal line. That's a 387.5. I guess, I would expect that $4 would get hit with this and then have to reevaluate. But yeah. But I feel like with this, rejection over here, I feel like this is probably, I feel like it's probably going to hit 4. Like right now, first need to find like a bottoming signal, which would be like a bounce, volume stepping in, and then price starting to go up, and not really seeing that yet, just with the daily from Friday, red day closing low, closing below 5. And so we'll have to see what tomorrow's candle looks like and stuff. But I feel like this is probably going to go lower, like to 4. And it's right around 425 in the overnight. So, yeah. And it is possible that this could come down to 156. Who knows how extreme the markets are going to be. We could be at the start of a brand new recession, the tariff recession. Who knows? And so hopefully those were helpful. And then I will now add up Fastly. Right, because I went on a little bit of a ramble about Bitcoin, so hopefully that was helpful to John. And also, I appreciate you putting SBIT in the chat because I wasn't familiar with the ultra short Bitcoin ETF. And so I got Fastly added there for nameless, NWBO, Northwest Bio. Cool. I feel like I went over that or went over something similar. Can't remember though. Could margin calls cause some squeezes tomorrow? I have no, back of my head, I'm like, maybe. I don't know, because I'll pull up a couple charts that might suggest something like that, AMC and GameStop. And then Benjamin, what's up? I will definitely pull up FLNC for you. Just going to try to go through them in the order that they were received, but I might just mention AMC. It was green in the overnight earlier, but now it's at $5.60, sorry, at negative 5.66% in the overnight trading. And yeah, I mean, we got the, it's $2.50, down 5.66% in the pre-market. I suspect it will be taking out the lows here, 238. So for me personally, after this stream, I had a few limit buy orders to just very small dip buys to reevaluate. I might actually cancel all of my limit dip buys because they'll be executed while I'm sleeping, and I don't necessarily, I think that they'll probably go well past my levels. So yeah, AMC 249. I think it could be heading to 238. And so maybe like adding a little bit just for fun around 237, that might be like, hey, bought it at the cheapest they could be. But, then that would just be suggesting that it's probably going lower. GameStop also down about 5.7% in the pre-market, trading a little above 22. So, yeah, I mean, I think, overnight, after hours pre-market trading can always be more retail heavy, less volume, and things can kind of go in the opposite direction that you'd expect, or that they will go when the market opens. So I'm not getting ahead of myself or anything, whether it's GameStop, AMC, any stocks. I'm just trying to chill. But yeah, it's quite possible that we could see some squeezes. And so then that would be like taking money out of the Mag 7 and putting them into, the meme stocks, and that would benefit retail. So that would be like kind of a redistribution of wealth in that sense. I'd be all about that. That'd be cool. But yeah, I'll pull up. Okay, and so I will add it. And Saul is saying Margin Call Monday. I like it. And is also saying great work, Andy. No problem. Happy to offer some perspective on this stuff. I am going to add, let's see, Rivian up here. Rivian is one that I like. So for me, I'd like to get a truck. I need a truck, but I don't want a Cybertruck. It's just like, it's too, I'm not at the stage in my life yet. Hopefully someday I will be, when I can either afford or, have the lifestyle to, support like a Cybertruck. But just, feel like for a more practical use, like the Rivian pickups seem really nice. And so I'm always very tempted wanting to buy shares. I don't have any right now. I did have a limit buy order placed for start of trading tomorrow. I removed it, and I'm talking about Rivian, by the way. But I'm just going to chill. And I'll come back to this chart in a minute because I don't want to be teasing too many people and stuff. So I'm going to go over Fastly first. And so this one, let's see, overnight trading down about 5%. That seems to be pretty consistent. Trading below $5 a share, closed on Friday at $5.16 at 13% down, and hit a low of $5.01. Now trading below that in the overnight trading session. And so, yeah, this is like gone below all of the levels over here. And yeah, I don't know. This is one, like, for me, when I first drew this cup, I think I had some calls here. I added to them on this dip. I took profits here, and I've, wanted to get back in. But it's like you love a chart. I love drawing that cup. But I didn't get back in, and now it's like I feel like, I don't know. I have no idea how low this could go. And yeah, if this is opening below 5, like, I literally have no idea how low this could go, because it's in uncharted territory. So I'm just going to remove the drawings, put it on the weekly time frame. Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe we could draw a trend line over here, which is probably just, hopium. Just being clear. That being approximate there, it just kind of bottoms. And that would suggest if we went straight down to that level, that'd be like, $1, sub $1. Also, I have this little trend line over here. So, yeah, I mean, I know, like looking at the chart here, yeah, I mean, it could just keep going. And so Benjamin's asking, would a squeeze mean some stocks may be higher tomorrow, even though the market may be significantly down? Yeah, and I feel like a good example of that, not necessarily, I don't know, just like, so if you have something where there's a divergence in something, bullish, bearish divergence, the RSI is the relative strength index. So if you have like a divergence between the stock price, lower lows, let's say, but you have higher lows in the RSI, that's showing that there's bullish divergence and it's showing relative strength index. Another way to kind of think about relative strength is if like the stock market and gold are down a bunch, but like Bitcoin's flat, it was on Friday, then that's showing relative strength, not only against the stock market, but also against gold. And then if we look at GameStop, it's red now, coming down 5% in the overnight, but on Friday, it was up over 11%. And the stock market, gold, even Bitcoin was flat, whereas GameStop was green. So that's showing some relative strength. That doesn't necessarily mean that a squeeze is going to happen. It's just kind of surprising. But, once the market closed, the after hours trading session, it came down 1.7%. Overnight, which I believe is based on this price from close on Friday, it came down 5.19%. Down to like 22.27 currently. And so it showed relative strength during market hours, but then that's kind of rolled over a little bit, still up overall. Based on, it opened at 21.42, closed at 23.49, and is trading around 22.27. So that's showing relative strength relative to the market, relative to Bitcoin, relative to AMC, which put in, kind of a bottoming tail. I put a video out on that. I feel pretty good about that. Bitcoin, though, was showing relative strength, but then it's had a pretty big sell-off, down 5% in this day's candle. But we'll have to see when the market opens. There's a CME gap up here, which I expect will be getting filled. But yeah, as far as Fastly stuff goes, very tough to say. I'm going to have a hard time suggesting where the bottom might be for that. And let's see, NWBO, we'll check on that. Northwest Bio. Oh, this is OTC, 21 cents. I think in the market conditions now, this does not have overnight trading or anything. And to be honest, I don't even really know how to trade OTC, over-the-counter stocks. But yeah, I think that this could be one that quite literally goes to zero. On the weekly, all-time lows, 14 cents. I feel like it could be hitting the all-time lows tomorrow. I'm just going to put it out there. But yeah, for me, stuff like this is stuff that I try to avoid because I think that this is, especially, if we're heading into a recession, who knows? This is something that could be going to zero or be delisted and then, effectively goes to zero. But yeah, 14 cents over there. If we go back, yeah, that's the low from 2017, 14 cents. Pretty crazy. A week in 2017. So yeah, I would not be surprised if this goes down to 14 cents, hit a low on, was it Friday? Yep, on Friday of 16.92. So yeah, I just be prepared for this. Have a plan for, or, you know, be prepared for the possibility of this going to zero. So I'm sorry if I'm negative on this, but I just think now is the time to be like, okay, these are the stocks that I really believe in. I'm just going to focus on them. And WBO, if that's one of them, then yeah, maybe there's something there. But I feel like this is probably more of a gamble and likely, going to the casino, the house always wins. So I think that this is one of those. So I'd be cautious with it. And then let's see, FLNC, I'll go over that for Benjamin. And let's see what's going on here. Looks like what I talked about is playing out. Oh, if no V-shaped recovery in closing week sub 496, then likely continuing down. The overnight has it trading at 385. The low on Friday was 363. I mean, it's possible if the markets turn around and stuff tomorrow, which is possible. It's possible there could be a V-shaped recovery because this is a big wick to the downside. Close, at the highs. The high was 431 on Friday, closed at 431. Well, it might have been a red day because the close was 1 penny lower than the close on Thursday, which was at 432. Closed 1 penny lower. It was still green in the sense that it opened lower than where it closed at. It closed higher than where it opened. So that could be the start of a reversal signal. But with what goes on in the markets on Monday, if this is not, like if there isn't a close above 431 tomorrow, then I don't think that there's going to be a V-shaped recovery, which you'd want to see going back up to here. And if that's not starting to happen Monday, I feel like this is probably just going to be breaking down. And even if it does get like a bounce, like, I don't know what that light blue line's coming from, but just going across from there, also this orange or yellow line right around there, that was some notable support. So I think what could happen, which would be a really bad look, is if it bounced, started to get what looked like a V-shaped recovery, but then got rejected from that line up there, then that would be like kind of a confirmation of the breakdown, and it's just like going lower. Or, it's like a retest of that level, and then it to act as resistance. That's now resistance. It's heading back down. So, yeah, it could be still doing this yellow arrow. It could be coming down to 288. It's trading at 385 in the overnight trading. So another one good to be cautious with. And by the way, any stock, doesn't matter what it is, good to be cautious with right now. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this is probably likely to, if it does bounce, get rejected and then continue down. So I'm like, my outlook right now is like bearish, leaning more bearish. And my plan for handling that is not by shorting stuff, not by buying puts, or short ETFs or anything. I'm just gonna try to chill, and I'm doing that. I'm chilling. I could have positioned myself better for this, but I think it's all just part of the learning process. I'm learning as I go, as we all are. And so let's see. Okay, so I think I'm more or less caught up with the requests. So as far as what the scrolling through the chat is, so caught up. So I see the Rivian one for AA, so I can go over Rivian next. Then I have PAGS for Nameless, so I'll do that. I'll just add that up there. And let's see. Benjamin saying FLNC seems to be showing good relative strength at the moment. That's true, but I think that could just be a fake out if it gets rejected from that level. So good to be cautious. And then I'll add up 9 as well for Nameless and Benjamin. I will add up Mara. I have a call. I think a few calls. One contract, but a few of them. Maybe 4. Of a call that expires in January, which may go to 0. I've basically accepted that all of the contracts that I'm holding, they're all calls, they're probably going to 0. And it sucks, but, it's something that, the risk you take and, the lessons I'm going to learn from that will be really valuable. I've been focusing more on shares lately, so I think that's an important lesson. But yeah, I will just pull up FLNC. Yeah, I just look for it to be getting like closes above 5 really, because then that's potentially reclaiming this level to go higher. But if it can't get multiple closes above 5, it's probably getting rejected before coming down. And then let's see. I think I might have to delete some of these requests before I move on to, I'll just delete the ones that weren't requested that I put up here. Okay, so I got some space, and so I will add LPSN, live person, as long as nobody accuses me of plagiarizing for my analysis. I don't know why people always say that when I cover that stock. But yeah, the one that I need to go over is Rivian. And so it's down 6.33% in the overnight trading. I personally, I think I was saying this, that I really like Rivian. But it's also like, how many stocks do I have in my portfolio? Too many. Do I need to add any more? No. And so I had a limit buy order, I believe, placed for 1108. I believe I've talked about that level for a while. It's a 786 here from this retracement, although we did get a higher high. So maybe I want to adjust that. So that would be like 1112 is the dip buy level, right around 11. But since it's trading below that, I think I have an alert here for 1050, and that's where it's at. In the overnight, yeah, got an alert at 1050, and so that would be like, maybe I'll consider it, because that would potentially be, coming to this green uptrend, which goes back to the lows from a year ago, from April 16th, 2024, pivot low 826. And then the other pivot point is going to be, I imagine, from August 5th. Nope, November 6th. And that was 950. And so, support there. And did bounce from it yesterday, or on Friday, 1036. Look at that. Barely pierced it. You can see a little bit. You guys probably can't see it, but let's see. I'm just going to take a screenshot. So let's see. I've got this on my screen. Look at that. You can see it just pierced that level. Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. I guess I won't save it. I'll just move it over to my other screen. But yeah, so 1036, maybe that doesn't get hit again. It'd be nice to be putting in higher lows. 1050. It could be breaking down from this. It could be revisiting 950. So I'm just chilling. I'm not buying Rivian, even though I like it. I like the Amazon aspect of Rivian. I think their vehicles seem really nice. But also, just thinking about what happened with that Luminar video, or that video that featured LiDAR and, the self-driving car and Looney Tunes. can you fool a self-driving car? I just thought that was really bad taste. Luminar basically was featured in that video. I don't think they sponsored it or anything, but they were definitely featured in it. And they're basically lying about Tesla in that video. And so if a company needs to lie about another company to succeed, I kind of view, well, any of these other companies that are competitors to Luminar, whether that's in autonomy, self-driving, or other EVs, charging stations like ChargePoint, I kind of just started to view those as like, well, hey, going long any of these other ones, it's kind of like going short Tesla. And so for me personally, I'd rather add to my Tesla position than get a very small Rivian position. And by add to my Tesla position, that's, $200 a share, over $200 a share. That would be, adding incrementally, probably like buying in tenths of a share. But yeah, I'd rather do that than buy a couple shares of Rivian. But it's at that support. It may very well hold. But with what's going on in the markets, I could see, it coming back down to maybe around 950. And I guess I'm actually going to delete that so it's not so cluttered. The way that I would see this playing out is something like this, where it's coming down. Everybody thinks it's breaking down, but then it gets above and then it starts to go up. So I feel like it could spend a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, just like over here, it spent more than a month below that purple downtrend, which, maybe I just drew it poorly. I don't know. But I could see it breaking below this green uptrend and this being the real discount zone before potentially going up, or maybe going up a little bit and then getting rejected. And even if it just got a bounce from 950 up to there, that's a 10% move. So just probably doesn't seem like it based on, crap. I can't, I don't know what's going on. Oh, the way that I drew that. Okay, yeah. So, that is that's a 10% bounce. That's not nothing. But yeah, that would be the real discount zone in there. So for me personally, at 1050, that's already hit. Maybe I'm going to adjust this alert to 10. And then I'll keep an eye on that, but I'm probably not buying. If I had a position in Rivian, yeah, I'd probably buy between, 10 and 950. I think that'd be compelling. Dip buy, very nice. But it could be breaking below 826. If we're heading into a recession, I think it could go below 826. And so, yeah, I'll just scroll up through the comments. PAGS is the next one. Let's see. This is kind of doing this doodle here. I'm going to delete this other one. Didn't go up so high. This is potentially... Yeah, let's see. No, this is not anything. Well, I'm just trying to think. It's just magnetizing to these levels. All right, so yeah, this maybe it could be breaking out to get to where do I? That's always in the way. This is probably the best place for me to have that so it doesn't block anything. But yeah, getting up to $9, $9.20, somewhere around there, that could still be, potential inverse head and shoulders, the very ugly, double right shoulder there. That will be getting up to around 920. I suspect it'd probably get rejected. Generally, I'm just going to be kind of bearish right now. This is below the orange uptrend, which what's that based on? Based on the low from November 1st, 2023. And then also it looks like the low over here just being kind of arbitrary, October 7th, 2024. Really just that consolidation there being below it. And yeah, so I mean, we did just get rejected from that level. That was a lower high, also lower high in the RSI there. There was some nice volume behind it, but I feel like it's just what's going on in the markets overall just kind of dominated, being down 7.4% on Friday. But I mean, it did hold up above 771. That's really just this gap over here that was previously filled. So I feel like that level is not really that significant anymore. But this red downtrend, what's really that, that based on? I don't know. Just thinking like it's still holding up above 770 and the after hours 760. The low on Friday was 758, so it's trading right around here. I mean, it could be like you can see that line's kind of arbitrary. I don't know. There's much significance to it. Yeah, I look for closes above like $9. That's what I would want to see. Getting back to what was the high on Thursday. The high on Thursday was 851. So yeah, I want to be getting into like the upper eights and looking strong. And this actually does kind of remind me of a rising 3 method, where it's, like going up here, comes down, and then this could be suggesting it's going up more. But let's look at this on the weekly. Maybe, no, it doesn't really look like a rising 3 methods, but we do have lower highs here on the weekly with the RSI that is a higher high. And so that is bearish divergence. So looking at it on this time frame, and it's going to pull up some other drawings. But I guess I already have that there, so don't need to redraw it. But that's, yeah, 720, that's the 618 here. So I'd look for that to hold if it does go lower, and delete that. So yeah, I'd keep an eye out for closes above, like in the upper 8s to like 9. That would be awesome. And don't want to see closes like below 720. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say. It's gonna be tough to judge. And then so I will pull up. Let's see. 9. I will pull up. I feel like 9 is up in the after hours, 6.25%, but there's no overnight trading with it. But yeah, I mean, it came down 8 cents on Friday, closing at 96 cents, and then went up 6 cents in the after hours. So, I mean, it opened at 101 and it's at 102 in the after the after hours session. What do I have noted here? Alerted, sell a $1 cash secured put. I was alerted. I ignored it. But, and that's just because I didn't have like cash on the side, or I just didn't want to be risking $100 on this. I think I did with something else though. But like, I was alerted here. And so I could have sold a cash secured put. And then, and that's like when you're saying it's going to be like you're bullish on it. And so if it's $1, could have sold, dipped down to 95 and then made some money, 42% there. So that's kind of what I was thinking with it. but I didn't partake. I don't know what premium I would have gotten. Probably not that much because it's dollar stock. But yeah, I mean, following that bounce, though, it did not do what I have drawn in the yellow there, or it did at least until a few days ago. But then it just kind of broke down pretty massively. And the close over here, or sorry, the low over here was 195. The close was above that. So I guess I just like look for a close below 195. That would not be so great. This doesn't really look like it's suggesting any signs of bottoming because you just have, red candle. So that doesn't seem like there's any sign of bottoming. And with these red candles coming down, you have volume increasing. And so, excuse me. Yeah, so it seems like it's probably going to keep going lower. And I guess I suspect that it's probably going to hit like 88 cents. Excuse me. Yeah, so I look for it to hit 88 cents. And then like 75.11 is the low over here. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this is probably going to go down more. I think oil is down a lot. Is what I heard. And this is, excuse me, Oilfield Services Company. Yeah. So this could be breaking down, heading towards like 88 cents, if not lower. It would be my guess. And then I'll pull up Marathon Digital or just Mara. I don't know what they're going by these days. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, let's see how many calls I have. I think I have 4. And I imagine they're probably all going to go to 0, which sucks, but I'm not worried about it right now because this call, it's a $50 call. I've got 3. My average is $1.36. They expire in January of next year. Let's look at, what the premium is for them now. Calls January 26. And so the $50 call to buy one is 38 cents. I'm not buying any. I'm chilling. I'm not doing any more with calls right now, trying to be more disciplined. And part of the reason why I think I kind of have put less of a focus on calls because like I trim shares and still hold the calls. And it's like, no, that's the opposite way that I should be trading. I should have shares. And then if it goes down to a level where I think there's going to be a bounce, then I should get calls to kind of play that, to get some leverage on it while still holding the shares. And so it's like, well, all of the positions that I have, I should just have some shares. And like with Marathon Digital, I don't have any shares, but I have some Bitcoin and, I like, but yeah, I mean, so I have this Fibonacci retracement here. This is a 786, 974. It's at 1024 in the overnight. And let's see, what's this alert at? I'm going to make it 974. Because, I think that it'd probably pierce that level. And that'd potentially be some support because we got some consolidation over here. So yeah, for Mara, I would wait for this alert to go off at 974. And yeah, and I feel like that's maybe a dip buy level or, a start to nibble level. But this could be going down more. And let's see, I'm just going to add Bitcoin up back here to see where that's trading at 79. So getting a little bit of a bounce. Hey. So yeah, I wonder if my $50 will turn into like 53. And I have my limit sell order. It's in Robinhood. I think I bought right around this white line. Just, I just timing whatever. Was not trying to be precise on a level. Didn't have a limit buy order or anything. But I just have a limit sell order placed at 83 because there's a little bit of a spread with Robinhood, and I just feel, that's fine. It's just a quick swing, just having some fun with it. And yeah, but it could be short-lived. So Marathon, I suspect, will be coming down to sub 10. So I'd wait for that. And then LPSN, live person, got lots of stuff over here. This, let's see. I'm going to clear up a lot of these doodles. That was pretty nice. Prediction on the top there. I don't know that that channel means anything. This level below it, well, that was like a nice predictor for there. But yeah, I mean, who cares? Below that. Okay, so we got this trend line here. Maybe this is interesting. This is the lows from March 20th, 2023, ranging to June 14th, 2023. And, kind of acted as a nice dip buy level over here before going up about 50% or more. And then gap below that level, broke above, but then retested. So that does seem like it's a pretty notable level. And where are we now? That line is well below us. And let's see, just thinking about this. I'm gonna sit back. I'm tired of sitting forward. And I should actually probably be sitting back more when I do these anyways. Hopefully you heard me drink. I had to adjust the mic for that. So, I would say I would just do a Fibonacci retracement from here up to here, but we're already lower than that, so that's not going to be too useful. And so, let's see. Maybe we could do a Fibonacci extension from the high here to the low here, up to the high here. And yeah, that's suggesting that that's kind of dumb of me to do that. We're well below that. But yeah, so I don't think, I think this may have acted as something. Like, hey, there's some support there. We've now broken below that. So, I mean, I could see this, attempting to get back up, but then getting rejected there and rolling over. Live person, penny stock, market cap 61 million. I don't know. I think this is one that I wouldn't be surprised if it kept going lower. Like, this is one I did a couple videos on, got accused of plagiarizing somebody else's analysis, which is ridiculous because the first video I put out was a clip from a live stream, and it just kind of put a sour taste in my mouth, so I stopped covering it. And also just because, like, who the hell knows what live person is? I don't know. So this is one that I would not want to hold. And I feel like if it does bounce, it's probably going to get rejected from like 93 cents, 92 cents, somewhere around there. Yeah, I mean, this has been some notable support, it looks like. Bounced from that level here, bounced again, then got rejected or broke below it and kind of attempted to get back over. Couldn't even make it. Came down more. So, yeah, I feel like this is probably going to bleed more, so I'd be cautious of, prepared for that, all of that. But like the low on Friday was 61.02. The lows over here, like 52. Oops, I don't want a array. I want a horizontal line. So yeah, I mean like 52.24. Maybe that could be where it's going. is what I would think. Okay, and let's see. Okay, and so Damon, what's your take momentum of LPSN? Um, yeah, I mean, and this like LPSN also had big wick to the downside, so maybe buyers stepping in, but it did close in like the lower half or right around the middle of the trading for the day. If I switch this over to like the 10-minute time frame, yeah, I mean the highest volume was when it was just coming down here. So that's not really that good. It had a little bit of volume towards the end of the day, but that was kind of weak. So it seems like a dead cat bounce to me. I think this is probably going to go lower. Demon's saying, if you believe stock price is going to rise, but not by the expiration of your contracts, what are the pros, cons of rolling over your contracts, trying to learn more about options? So, basically, I feel like if you bought whether calls or puts, if you bought them and then you roll them, it's just going to cost you more money. So let's say I buy a call that has a premium of 20 cents, so it's $20 per contract. But then, hey, it's about to expire and it's out of the money, so that contract is now worth 1 penny, which is like $1 per contract. And then you could roll, like by rolling, you would be rolling that $1 into a new contract. So you'd be spending more money on the new contract, but that $1 would go towards it. And generally, I feel like if you're holding a contract that goes down that low and then like rolling it, it doesn't really make much sense because it's just like you're just spending more money on the inevitable of it just like continuing down, and not really like getting a benefit from the premium and stuff that you had paid before. What I had recently done with a Luminar call, I think it was a covered call, and it was about to close in the money on a Friday. And so I rolled it to the next week. And so by doing that, I actually made money rolling it because I was selling it. And like I bought back the call I had originally sold, and then I sold one with the following week's expiration. And so that was nice because I was able to collect more premium on it, and then stock price came down, so I was able to keep my shares. But then just recently, last week, I had sold some ChargePoint covered calls, just two, with a strike of 50 cents. And I think Wednesday morning they were assigned because it was well above 50 cents. So that was kind of surprising because I was hoping to roll them. But if I look at the premiums for the contracts for the upcoming weeks, it's like the premium's zero. So I ended up losing 200 shares at what ended up being, with premium included, 63 cents and 65-cent average. I'm fine with that. I let it be. But like if you sold a covered call or sold, I'm not as familiar with cash secured puts and like rolling them, just kind of experimented with rolling covered calls. And that was a nice way to make more money if it was still looking bullish. Rolling a call with live person, I think it's just like you got to evaluate like how much is the premium worth for the contract that you would be rolling. Is that worth it to then be risking more money into the play? You're basically buying a continuation, an extension. And I feel like now is the time to kind of not be doing options. I think it's too risky. And especially with stuff that's trading sub $1. Because if you look at the options table, it's super boring. 50 cents and $1. And, so, yeah, I mean, but I think it's valuable to learn more about it, whether or not you decide to do it. And perhaps, maybe it's like, let's say you have 5 contracts and it's like, Well, but I don't know much about rolling. Maybe what I'll do is just hypothetically for myself, like if I had five calls that were going to expire, like if I had $1 calls, let's say, that were expiring on April 17th, I think that they're going to be going to zero. I could sell those and keep that premium, but here that's zero, and then roll it into, let's say the May expiration. And then so that would cost me, I'd get for selling this $0, and then I had to pay $15. So there's really no point in rolling them if what you'd be getting for them is nothing. Even for next month. Yeah, I mean, you just look at these contracts, like July is 10 cents. So it's $10 per call, $1 strike. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's very risky. And so let's see. Check out STEN. I'm just going to clean up some of the stuff over here. Some of the stuff that I had up here. Okay, so I'll add STNE and then blank. Happy to go over that for you, Benjamin. Do you think the markets are due for a bounce? I did not think like futures would be so bad. So like if I just flip over to, let's see. Don't want stonks. I want pre-market prep. If I just go over to the SPY, overnight down 2%. I think that, is there going to be a bounce? I think that we're going to see the lower tomorrow. But I think that depending on where it closes, that could be the sign of, hey, yeah, we're starting to see a bounce. But right now, gap down, red candle, gap down, bigger red candle with increasing volume. That makes me think we're going lower. But maybe tomorrow we put in a hammer candle with a big wick to the downside. That would be like a bottoming tail, suggesting that there could be a bounce. So I think it's possible, but the SPY is now in the overnight below $500. It looks like it's at $592.92, down 2.45%. So I think most stuff is going to continue down tomorrow, maybe into Tuesday. I feel like we could be getting a bounce by Wednesday. But stuff could just keep going lower. And so STNE, let's see. Yeah, so this is looking pretty good. It's in the overnight though down 7.85%, so down to like 975, which is going to be like right where the cursor is here. It's like over here. And let's see. Yeah, I mean, I think, let's say I got too many lines drawn up here and they're all white. Delete some of this stuff. These are all just levels. I'm going to draw Fibonacci retracement. All right. Okay. So with this, oops, I don't want the Fibonacci time zone. I don't even know what that is. Fibonacci retracement from the low 772 over here to the high of 1174. 786 possible, could come down to like 858, somewhere around there. So good to have a plan for if that does happen. But we can look at this for some other levels. To the upside. I'm just gonna adjust that to 2 proportions. I just want to see where the 382 is. That's around 1020. We are lower than that. The 50% would be around 973. That's where we're trading at right now. And so I will also add the 618, which is at like 926. And so, yeah, I mean, I feel like there could be some support found in that range because of, let's see, I'll just kind of draw a little box because of like, I'm just like thinking about, the consolidation over here and over here. So yeah, I mean, there's some consolidation here. There's some consolidation here. Maybe that'd be acting as support. So it could be coming down to as low as like $9 in my view, but it could go lower to 786. Could retest that purple downtrend, which based on the lows or the pivot low from September 5th also looks like it intersects with August 5th. But then I have that drawn over here to, it looks like the closing price from July 2nd. And this is like a head and shoulders pattern, so that looked kind of bearish. And let's see. Neckline down. We have not gotten necessarily the full move there, but more or less did to 772. But yeah, I mean, I think that this could be coming back to that range around $9, and it's currently at like 975. So yeah, I think maybe 926, maybe that acts as support, somewhere around there. And then blink. All right. And this, yeah, I mean, I might pull up the EV charging stocks, and I might have to end the stream soon just because my eyes are getting pretty tired. But yes, let's see, like ChargePoint. Just curious. Yeah, I mean, like both of these, big wick to the downside, closing in the upper quarter. Big wick to the downside, even though it's red, still closing in the upper quarter. So maybe that's a bottoming signal. EVgo. It doesn't look like a clean hammer, because it's not, didn't open up here. But big wick to the downside, and it closed in the top portion. So all these are looking like there's potential for a bounce. But given that the broader market's gapping down tomorrow, I think that this is probably going to, like, it hasn't found a bottom just yet. I don't think any of them have. So, like, after the stream, I'm probably removing any limit buys, and I'll just have some levels to look at before I do pre-market prep. So I wouldn't be too aggressive with anything. And, yeah, so let's see, ticker request live. And then I'll add path, and then after that, I might get another request, but probably gonna be my last one because I'm tired. Gap filled, so let's make that a solid line. Same type of thing. I mean, big wick to the downside close, and it looks like right around the upper quarter or so, pretty close to it, upper third. But the overnight 940 down 6.37%. 940 is actually lower than the low over here. I do have this like downtrending support level, so I feel like that's probably going to get tested. And yeah, I mean, like tomorrow could intersect like 930. That would be like that downtrend, but yeah, I mean, and I do have this 100% fib extension from here down to like 859. But yeah, I mean, I think that could potentially, this is a downtrending level, so could potentially be hitting 9 maybe later in the week, and could break below it like it did over here. So yeah, I could see it probably going lower, but I think it's like see what happens tomorrow, generally across the market, whatever stocks, see what happens tomorrow. And if there's like strong close and it seems like things aren't gapping down, it's not Black Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so on, then yeah, maybe there's a nice bounce potential. And so I expect there's going to be a bounce by or on Wednesday. Excuse me. But there might be there will be some pain between now and then whenever we get that bounce. But yeah, I mean, I'm yawning and my eyes are tired, so I'm gonna get signing off. But I will be doing pre-market prep tomorrow. I'll try to start it at 8 a.m. Eastern. Have an hour before I sign off and get ready for. Wait, 8. I get confused. Yeah, 8 a.m. Eastern. Markets open at 9:30 Eastern. So yeah, I'll probably do that tomorrow, or I will do that tomorrow. And let's just check out the poll that I have on X. Look, 36 votes. SoFi's in the lead so far. And actually, if I refresh that, still 36 votes. So we'll have to see. And this will expire during pre-market prep. And so I'll find out which one I'm covering during pre-market prep. So that should be pretty fun. And yeah, it looks like SoFi's in the lead though. So I'll probably be doing that. I'm kind of excited if that's the one, but if not, there are others I'm also excited to cover. So yeah, I think with all that being said, I'm just going to throw this up here. If you have not already, please make sure you like the stream. Make sure you like the videos if you do find them helpful. And make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos, streams like this. Try to do Ticker Request Live every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I'm trying to do pre-market preps before market opens. This week coming up, I'm working in afternoons, so I will be able to do a live stream for pre-market preps. But then the following week, I'll be working mornings, and so I'll have to record them and post them before I go to work. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting week. And, in the words of, I'm going to look up his character's name. I'll look up his character's name, and then I'll say it. In the words of, I just watched this movie, but I have to search it. In the words of Arnold, oops. In the word, oh, that's too small. These are all too small. In the words of Arnold from Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts. So, oh, hold on to your bucks. Wow. I didn't even see that. Yeah. Hold on to your bucks. Look at this. This is cool. Huh. Yeah, that is Arnold. Hold on to your butts. That's a cool graphic. I like that. Cool. Well, this is what you guys got to do. This is what I'm going to try to do. And have fun while doing it. And so, yep, I've already said goodbye. So I'm going to say goodbye. Maybe I'll make this a thumbnail for tomorrow. I like it. I like it for pre-market prep. All right. Good luck, you guys. I'll see you